and welcome to another episode of Stuck in My Mind podcast. I am your host, Wize, and my guest today is an entrepreneur, storyteller, and leader who believes business and a leader who believes business should be about more than transactions. It should be about people. He is the co-founder and CEO of GigSalad, the leading online marketplace that has connected more than 4 million event planners with entertainers, speakers, and service providers. Before building a successful tech company, he spent time in the world of acting, film sets, and talent representation, where he discovered his passion for helping creative people find opportunities to do what they love. Adopted at birth and later diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, he brings a unique perspective to leadership, creativity, and personal growth. Today, we're talking about entrepreneurship, emotional intelligence, vulnerability, adoption, ADHD, and building a business that helps everyone rise together. Please welcome to the show, Mark Steiner.
Hey, Wize.
Hi.
Thanks for having me, man.
Oh man, thanks for being a guest. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you. And I'm so and blame me for that bio. I deliberately made it a tongue twister that no one can get all the way through it without maybe missing something or yeah. That's
So tell us about your childhood and growing up adopted.
Oh man. You said what about the adoption?
Yeah.
Well, yes, I was adopted at birth. I was born March 10th, and I was home with my family, my parents, my new home on March 30th, so 20 days later. And I was raised from the very first birthday celebration on. We'd always celebrate. We'd celebrate the day I was born. We'd have a birthday, and at the end of the month, we would have another celebration, which was basically the day I came home. The day, in modern terms, they call it your gotcha day. And so I learned or sort of tried to conceive. They tried to teach me from the most earliest recollections was that you were chosen, you were picked. We're not, it wasn't the same as most of the other kids that, they were born into that family, but it definitely was a transformative sort of experience that continues to last throughout my life, because it's something that, I've worked really hard through a lot of counseling and therapy to just try to make peace with this very early idea that I seared into my brain, which was that I was given up, that I was rejected, I was abandoned, and even though I know now, I found out at 25 years old what the real story was, because I found my biological mother and she told me. But still, there's something that happens in an early age where you're telling yourself something over and over and over again that's not even true. I made up that story, and so it's taken a long time to sort of crack that open and sort of cope or deal with it.
I can imagine, like, 'cause for me personally, was my dad left me when I was young, and
Yep.
and so for me it was always, why didn't he want to be with me, like, and
Right.
and that wasn't the case. A lot of things happened and life happened, and so when we did reunite, it was a way for both of us to get our stories right, like
Yeah.
get our stories correct, and talk, and I had been able to and the craziest thing was he was sick, right? He was
Mm.
suffering from diabetes and all that, and I reunited with my dad after 28 years in '09, and so when I went to see him Father's Day weekend, I arrived Friday to Puerto Rico. Saturday morning, he passed away.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow, man.
it was, so
Yeah.
it was just like for years, like I said, it was like how you said you had made up that story. I had
Yeah.
made my own story up. So yeah, I kind of can relate with
Interesting.
yeah.
How old were you and how old was he when you reunited?
Um,
You were 20?
I was 38 years. No,
You were 38?
no. I was 32 years old.
Okay.
32 years old, and my dad passed away when he was 57. And
Wow.
so
Wow, man. Yeah.
yeah, so it was but it was 20 years since we had seen each other.
Got it.
And so yeah,
You were 12. 12 was the last time you had seen him? Wow.
yeah,
Uh,
something. Well, yeah, probably, yeah, something like that.
yeah. So did you feel like you had closure
Yeah,
when
yeah,
after
yeah.
that?
And I think that's what he was waiting for, right? Because he had been struggling with his health for years. For
Yeah.
years, had been struggling with his health, and and my brother from my father's side, the oldest one, he's the oldest. He told my younger brother, he's like, "Yo, when Dad sees Will, he might go," and it was shocking. It was just it was a lot, but kind of I kind of relate with how you said like you made your story. For
Yep.
me, for years
Yep.
growing up, I had made up my own story.
Yeah.
So
And
go
and
ahead.
it sounds like it's your anniversary of all of that, right? Because
Actually, yes,
Father's
the
Day was yesterday.
yeah, the 19th he passed, yeah, 19th in '09. So now it's close to 20 years. It's
Uh, well,
18 years now.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad you got that. I'm glad you got resolution, and closure, and
yeah,
hopefully was able to say everything you needed to say and hear everything you needed to hear.
yeah, absolutely. So you started in acting and entertainment. What drew you to that world?
I think I think it's directly correlated to my adoption. You know, I wanted the chip that was on my shoulder, the made up chip. You know, I had to put something there to motivate me. But it was like I felt like I had to prove something. I wanted to be I wanted to be bigger than life, and to me, that meant something on a stage. So I just gravitated to music or film, you know, acting, performing. I don't think I was athletic enough to be, you know, to pursue something like that. Even, I love sports, but you know, that what for me it was like I wanted to be a rock star or a movie star, and it really had to do with trying to manufacture that I'm valuable. That if I was popular, if I was famous, you know, then there would be a love for me, and you know, it was just a really sort of unfortunate journey that I had to go through to realize what I was, you know, why I was doing this and what that was all about. Because that's not a really, I don't think, a really healthy way to go about life, feeling like I need to do something or prove something to say that I'm valuable. And so, you know, but I think I kept that in check, and I figured it out. After 10 years, I worked in the movie business for 10 years in New York City, and had some incredible experiences during that time. It it taught me a lot, and then when when the opportunity came for me and my wife at the time to move out of New York and move to Connecticut, we took it. And I basically said at that time, I'm done with the movie business. I gave it my best shot, and I'm moving on to the next chapter in my life. But that's really what it was about. And here's the other thing, Will, that I'll say about it. But I learned this much later. Like 2.5 years ago, I got diagnosed with ADHD. And so the other thing that was going on when I was young was I was constantly masking. I was constantly putting on masks and shape shifting and playing roles when I would, in my friends groups. I was basically trying to be whatever I thought would be acceptable to others. I wanted to be accepted. And so I had this natural propensity towards acting. And I think that was another part of it. Like I could escape into a role in my head, or I could escape into music and art and creativity. And you know, that's what was going on when I was young. And I wasn't entirely cognizant of what was happening and why. But that's what I was doing.
At what point did you realize entrepreneurship might be your path?
That's a great question. Because, well, what happened was I worked in the movie business for 10 years. When I was done with that, I had a brief stint there for a year or so where I was creating a stuffed. My first kind of one of my original entrepreneurial efforts was I had created a stuffed bear called Rainbow Friends, and it was a colorful rainbow colored bear. I'm trying to see if I have one. I don't know if you can see it up there in the corner, but it was a bear that I wanted to teach children. It was a statement against racism. And I wanted this bear was going to teach children to love all the colors, and there was a pen pal component to it, and I was going to match children that were kind of different culturally in other ways and have them get to know each other through a pen pal relationship. And I had a pretty good run with it, but it wasn't a home run, and I needed to go get a job and start paying the bills that it took to start that. And I became an agent, and that's when I also worked for an architect friend of mine in New York City for a short period of time. But really, I've always been in entertainment and events of some sort. It's been my entire career, and so I worked for this small boutique agency in New York City for 7 years, and I used to book bands, big bands and jazz. So. I worked for the Glenn Miller Orchestra, but I also booked Count Basie, Duke Ellington, a bunch of jazz. It was an amazing experience, and I started my own agency.
But what problem were you trying to solve when you started GigSalad, when GigSalad was created?
Yeah, I'll tell you the reason. I didn't answer your question before. You asked me what part does being an entrepreneur play in creativity. It plays everything. I didn't realize it though. I I hadn't. I didn't. I just didn't give being the founder and the CEO of this company enough credence that I am able to be creative here. I am able to do things. I helped to create our culture, and I've helped to make this company grow. And it's all come through a creative process. It's all been through emotional intelligence as opposed to, intellect. I didn't go to college. I didn't know. I don't have an MBA. I wasn't taught how to run a business, and
You and me both, brother.
yeah, yeah.
That's one thing I talk about is I say I don't have all these fancy. I don't have the alphabet behind my name.
No, exactly. Me neither.
So when I do the stuff that I do, it's like I've built it from scratch, and I've built it from learning and networking and building relationships and being able to learn from different people and so yes, I went to school, but technically no. I found people that were willing to teach me and
Yes.
help me grow.
Yes,
And
man.
so that for me, so that's one of the things I talk about. Like I don't have all these MBs and MDs, none of these alphabets,
Right.
but I still have value to offer, and I have skills that I've developed
I,
learning, teaching like YouTube University and all
yeah.
these.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the stuff that we had to do, you and I will, to navigate and figure it out, the way what our brains had to do to find our path, to find our way, to find the right mentors, like you said, to find the people that would speak to us and teach us and but we learned, and we learned it in a really scrappy sort of, for me, I just felt like it was, I had more street smarts than I had book smarts. And
I'm a kid from Brooklyn, New York, man. I'm
right
from
on. I
this.
saw, yeah, I love your promo, by the way, and I love seeing the Knicks gear.
Yeah, I'm a kid from Brooklyn, man,
Yeah,
and
and I'm
so
a Jersey guy.
yeah, so it's yeah. I've learned a lot
Yep.
from the streets. I've learned a lot from people that I've encountered. So
Yeah.
for me, it's been street smarts, and now I'm getting to meet people that are teaching me more now, not just street smarts, but now other stuff, other concepts, and everything, and growth and development, and so yeah, it's been beautiful to be able to still learn, right, at
Yeah.
this point in time, at this age, and 'cause I turn 50 in a couple of weeks,
Oh, right on. Happy
and,
birthday.
and thank you. And so to be able to still learn now, right,
Yep.
and still realize that I still have so much more to learn and grow
Yes.
as a person. So it's yeah, this is a beautiful journey that I'm on right now.
Yes, it is. Man, let me just tell you, Will, that gives me goose pimples, by the way, what you're talking about. This is the stuff I love to talk about more than anything. It's about being in midlife, and you are solidly, you're like in the start, more of the beginning of your midlife period. You're oh, yes, maybe sort of smack dab in the middle, but midlife now goes from 35 as high as 75 years old. In some cases, even a little higher. And I just want to tell you, I turned 60 this past March, and I promise you, Will, your best years are yet to come. If you stay curious and keep being a student, man, I'm telling you, in 10
Bro,
years, you're going to be even happier than you are now, dude. I
it's
promise you.
oh, and it's just and it's just so many things have transpired this year alone, right?
Yeah.
Just with I started a new job, and it's put me in a place where I don't have to worry about certain things. Right now, I'm in a place financially where
You're
I
good.
can really enjoy certain things. So, no, it's really been
Good, good for you, man.
and to see it happen right when I'm turning 50, and realizing like, man, like I have so much more
Yeah.
to give and so much more to learn, and so much more to do. And I'm just excited, man. Like I'm just excited to see what the future holds, and the relationships, because I doing the podcast I get to connect with some amazing people, right?
Right.
I've been able to keep in touch with a lot of my guests, and build relationships, and because it's important to really be able to connect with people. Like one thing that caught my attention about you was that it's not about transactions with you. You actually want to really connect with people, and build with people. And so there's certain
Oh,
times when I interview people and it just feels transactional, like they're just here just to promote something or whatever.
yeah.
And then there's conversations like this where it's just so enriching, and just being able to have a great conversation.
Yeah. And feeding each other.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting, I've gotten so much from this already. I really have. Like it excites me. It sparks more, it's more than interest and curiosity. It's connection. And it's all I care about. At this stage of my life, I'm a 60-year-old, I'm an empty nester. I I have everything that I could possibly want, and I'm so content. And so at that point, there's no more material things that I aspire for or desire. I want experiences, and I
Mhm.
want connections with people. I want to
Yeah.
make, I want to have the most amazing friendships and relationships. And like you said, your unique opportunity to get to meet new people all the time, and interview them, and I just think it's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so what problem were you trying to solve when Gig Salad was created?
Yeah. So it's the summary is my business model. When I had my talent agency, my talent booking agency, I was booking headliners. I was booking national touring acts, more celebrities, acts that were at a minimum $5,000 and higher, and often tens of thousands, tens, 50, $100,000 acts. I was booking at colleges and universities, fairs and festivals, corporate events, performing arts centers, and I got into having a speakers bureau. And what happened was I launched my first website around 2002, 2003. And what happened was people were it wasn't the infancy of the internet by any means, but in this industry, it seemed like people were really starting to search more, and the the searches they were putting in were like talent agency, gigs, bookings, and I was, Steiner Talent was popping up, and it was local, regional performers, entertainers, and that wasn't my business. I wasn't booking, you know, balloon twisters and clowns and magicians. I wasn't even booking wedding bands. That wasn't my business model. But those people were reaching out to me looking for representation, looking for gigs. They wanted to be listed on my roster. And at the same time, the event planners were contacting me that were looking for people like that. It was local, regional event planners. So it was brides, mothers of brides, wedding planners, um, parents planning kids' birthday parties. And I thought, okay, there's an opportunity here. The problem was, I really tried to help all those people that were calling me, even though it wasn't my business. It wasn't what I wasn't going to be, that I wasn't, there was no transaction for me in that case. And I was still trying to serve people and help. And I finally said to my co-founder, Steve, who had created my website, I said, listen, I think there's an opportunity here. I need help because I need to get back to my core business and make some money. But maybe we create a website. We just make it a basic directory. We get those people to list themselves, those entertainers to list themselves on this directory, and then maybe the event planners will find that website, and we'll see what happens. And what happened is, 23 years later, here we are, and we're the number one in our space. It became a full-fledged event marketplace, which is, for those who don't sort of understand or know that term, we're a marketplace in the same way that Uber is a marketplace, in the same way that Airbnb is in a marketplace. You got these two parties that are looking for each other. You got a person that needs a ride, so a guy with a car, connects. And that's what we are. We built ourselves up to become an event marketplace, which has a booking platform in the back. So you can go to our website, you can find what you're looking for, you can negotiate with each other, and you can have a contract between you two all within 5 minutes. And that's what we built. And I've been making my living at it ever since 2011. We launched in 7, and everything that Steve and I made, we put back into the company. And I kept doing my Steiner Talent. He kept doing his Tetro design. And finally in 11, we said to each other, hey, I think that we're making enough money that we can make our living too from here. And it's been that way ever since. And then back in 22, me and a minority shareholder, we bought out Steve, my co-founder. And so now it's it's me and Locke and about 18 other people or so. We have a team of about 20,
That's
21.
awesome.
Yeah.
So, so, you mentioned this earlier. So, how did receiving an ADHD diagnosis later in life change your perspective?
Yeah. In so many ways. I got diagnosed because my daughter got diagnosed. She went to Brooklyn Law School. Shout out to Brooklyn. And while she was there, um, she was having trouble testing. She knew she had some anxiety when she would test, and she was on an anxiety medicine. But she went and got further screened and discovered that she had ADHD. And she was telling me about this, about the diagnosis, telling me what the symptoms were, and I looked at her like, uh, yeah, you just described me. Um, and I think there was a bit of shock because I didn't really ever even know what ADHD was. It wasn't. I heard the term, I heard the acronym. I wasn't, but I would have never considered myself an ADHD person. I didn't know enough about it, and then she tells me the symptoms, and I look back throughout my entire life, and that's how I know from a very early age that I was showing the signs of this, and it never came up in school. And my parents never thought to have me screened.
Because to be in all honesty, when we were growing up, there was no ADHD
No,
diagnosis.
exactly.
there was none of that.
No,
And I'm
exactly.
sure a lot of us would have been diagnosed
That's right.
ADHD.
That's right.
So uh,
You get there was kids in my class that got diagnosed with, they were
yes,
hypertension.
yeah,
So they
yeah.
were,
That was what we said. They were hyper kids.
yeah,
Yes,
hyper kids, right?
yeah.
And so but they were kids that would be put on Ritalin and might be in special ed, whatever it was, and they were sort of not ostracized, but there was this stigma with it. And I never, now I look back and I'm like, I absolutely was that person. I knew I was fidgety. I couldn't focus for long periods of time in a classroom. I was so easily distracted. And then you talk about rumination and the neurodivergence and all the stuff. And so it was a relief when I got diagnosed. It was also, there was a bit of mourning because I looked back on my life and realized how much, well, my entire life was shaped by this condition that I had, but I didn't know. I knew there was something off about me. I knew that I wasn't quite right, but I didn't ever know exactly what it is because I definitely had lots of emotions. I knew highs, I knew lows. Um, there was clear signs, but again, I didn't know what all those signs led to. I didn't know what it meant, and I never even thought to look it up because I was functioning. I created a company. I was a founder and CEO of a company. And that's one of the first things they say about this is that that's a common trait to be an entrepreneur is a very ADHD thing, and especially again for guys like you and me. Well, I had to learn all the skills about fresh in real time, learning how to do business. I had no precursors in class to have any idea of what to expect. Forget about reading ledgers, reading financials to know, profit and loss and all this stuff. Is like, oh my gosh, my brain wants to explode when you talk about numbers. But somehow I figured it out. And so I was able to look back and say, like a little bit of good job, bud, because you didn't always think very highly of yourself. I had a lot of insecurities about how smart I was or wasn't, and I did a lot of compensating for in areas of my life that I felt inadequate. Like I felt delinquent or I was just lacking or less, and so. It was a lot of emotion and continues to be. I'm still processing this. I'm still every day is a sort of a new part of the journey of just being aware, being conscious and mindful of it, and giving myself grace throughout the process. So, but I would just summarize it in that getting the diagnosis was one of the top 3 life-changing moments in my life, without question. In terms of how I view myself, the path I'm on now, it's been amazing.
You often talk about emotional intelligence. Why is it such an important leadership skill?
It's because it was all that I knew. I didn't feel like I had intellectual intelligence. I wasn't, as I said, I just never
Important.
felt like a book learned guy. And so all I knew how to do was lead from the gut, lead from the heart. And it was another big revelation for me, but it was well into the life of GigSalad. It was in around 2015, I got led to a book that was about emotional intelligence, and it was another thing that I had no idea about. I had never heard the term before, and then all of a sudden, somebody started talking about this emotional intelligence, and like I thought, well, I don't have a great IQ, but let me find out what my EQ is, and that's not even necessarily true, by the way. I have no idea what my IQ is. I may be off the charts. I may be a genius, Will, but I don't even care about that. I care about the EQ side of it, and the more I read, the more I could relate, and I realized I did what came absolutely naturally to me, and so I feel really passionate about it because. Again, I think one of my greatest contributions to this company, besides having the original idea, was being so intentional about what the culture was going to be here, because that was so important to me. Going back to what we were talking about before, as far as relationships go, and learning and growing, and listen, I felt like early on I needed to surround myself with a lot of really smart people. And I had to find people that had strengths that I didn't have and talents that I didn't have. And that's the way we built it. And it was all in finding those people. The one key element that everyone had to have was heart and passion. And I think kindness, and to be genuine, to be authentic, to have ambition and want to work hard. It was all emotional things for me. It had a lot less to do with what did the resume say and what college did you go to, or what was the last place you worked. That was not what I was most interested in. It was really about, do I like this person? Does this person appear to like me? And do I think that we could have fun working together? And do I think that we could build and grow something together just because we have a shared vision? And if they're willing to follow, then I think we can take this to the moon. And that's how we built it. It was all about heart and soul. And it's, so I talk a lot about it because in a way, it just kept me going. To have the culture that was based in EQ, I love to come to work every day. I love to be surrounded by the team that I have, because they do happen to also, they are really smart people. They're exceptional at every person on my team they're really exceptional people, and we're doing incredible stuff. And we happen to also have a lot of fun and a good time doing it,
No, it's awesome when you love what you do, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're able to like, from like when I started podcasting, I didn't have a clue what my purpose was or what I was supposed to be doing. And I had been furloughed from my job because of the pandemic, and it was like, when you have a job like you, that it's for some people kind of identify themselves with that job or whatever. And for me, I really didn't have my purpose. I didn't know what I was meant to do.
Yeah.
And so when I started podcasting, I was able to to express myself and really be much more emotional, show more emotions and feelings and the emotional IQ intelligence and
Yep.
being able to do the podcast gave me a voice. It
Yeah,
gave
man.
me something
Yeah.
that I didn't know was there. And to be able to create a platform and create things that I've been able to create. One of the things is I started a publishing company and
Oh, wow.
I helped this young lady publish her first children's book, right?
Oh, very cool.
To be able to do that was awesome. Like
Yeah.
I started with helping my nephew publish his books. And in the process I started learning about self-publishing and that was something and again, I've learned so much
Mm,
these 6 years. This like I've launched the internet radio station. I've launched 2
wow.
YouTube channels, started a publishing company, a production company, built my own website, coded it like I didn't know code and I learned code and so all these different things that I've been able to learn these past 6 years, right?
Right on, Will.
To be able to do to start building something from scratch and really find that place where I've built a platform where I give people an opportunity to share their stories and help other people because whoever's listening, there might be somebody who's listening to it and it might be what they need at that moment.
That's right.
Because I've gotten plenty of messages from people like, "Yo, that episode I really needed." Even it was one of my favorite episodes was a friend of mine. We were friends now. Her name Frederica, and she's been a guest twice. And the second one, it took me a year to release it. And when I released it, she sent me a message and she's like, she said, "Is that the episode we recorded last year?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry it took so long for me to release it and get it out there." And she goes, "No, no, no. Thank you." She says, "I have been struggling with so much recently, personally, that your description of the episode and of me, and then you use one of my favorite pictures that I love." And she says, "You reminded me what I've been missing, who I
Oh,
was."
man.
And,
Yes.
and it's crazy that I released it at that time, right? Like it was meant. We recorded it a year prior,
Yes.
but it was meant for her
Yep.
then, right then and there.
I believe that. Yep.
And so that's just like this is what I gotta keep doing this. I love
Yes.
doing this because you don't know who needs to hear this message or who needs to hear whatever message or whatever any of my guests have to say.
Yes.
Might be stuck in something and oh man, they did this. Oh, their story sounds similar to mine or whatever.
Right.
Just to be able to have that has given me so much joy, right? To be able to find my voice and find my purpose and know that I'm here to help serve others and help uplift others and
Yep.
to be able to finally realize that it was like this big weight, right? It was just lifted up off me.
Oh, yeah. What an epiphany.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a phrase for that, Will. Like what our slogan at Gig Salad is peace, love, and gigs. And I happen to think that the gig in your life, the gig that we do, is what should be our purpose.
Yeah.
It's the reason that we are here on this earth, you know. And when not everybody finds it, not everybody ever
Um,
gets that far, but when they do, man, it is the coolest. It's the coolest thing to witness to hear you talk about what you are passionate about and for you to articulate and say the reason that this is important to me is because it helps and serves others. That's everything.
mhm.
That's the meaning of life, that we are here to help walk each other home. And so if you're having that kind of impact and you're letting something that's beyond yourself sort of be in control. Like for whatever reason, you did not release that episode any sooner than when it needed to
Need
be
Yeah.
done, and voila. And that means that you're in line, to me, with the divine. It means that you are connected to source, to universe, and if there was more people doing what you were doing, the world would be an even better place. If people found their gig.
Yeah. It's just a lot of the things that I've been able to, like, I launched a program where I help people launch their own podcast, right? And I was telling I have another show that I do called Cognitive Cuisine with a friend of mine, Yayoi, and I was
Right.
telling her about the course and all that, and she goes, sign me up. Like, and I wasn't pitching it to her. I was just telling her about the course,
Right, right, right.
and she's like, okay,
Where,
how
where,
do I
where do I
sell you?
sign?
Yes,
Yeah,
where do I sell you? Like, huh? And and in March we launched a podcast. Um,
dude.
I'll start on Monday, and it's so
Yeah,
to be able to do that,
yeah.
right? Like,
You're helping people.
I'm getting to experience things where I'm impacting people's lives, right?
Yeah,
Because she had been wanting to start this podcast for the longest, right? And she was just making up excuses, and I was just telling her about what my idea was, and she helped me launch my beta, right? She was the beta. So I was able to get feedback from her, like, hey, what questions do you have? So now with her feedback, I'm able to adjust the course and fix it. So now she sent me a friend of hers a referral that I'm gonna start training her,
yeah.
and so to do that, it's just wonderful, right? To be able to help someone do something that they've been wanting to do, like that feeling is just there's no money that is no that
Hey,
money can't, yeah, they can't,
that's right.
just the experience itself,
Yes.
that
Yep.
aspect of it is what drives me,
Hmm.
right? To be able to help someone fulfill something they've wanted to do for the longest.
That's it.
Being able to do that, there's no price. There's no price to it. Like, to me personally, it's what motivates me.
Yeah.
It's not the money. It's seeing their face when they release their episode, and how they find so much pride and joy in doing it. And
Yes.
that to me is like, man, this is why I love doing this. Like,
Yeah.
even if I help 6 people, if I whatever number of people I help launch, I don't. It's just the fact that I'm helping them do something that they wanted to
Help
do.
one, man. You help one, and it makes a difference to this world. You're the gig salad of authors and podcasters. You're giving people the chance to do what they love, and that's what we love. That's what drives Gig Salad. We have members throughout all of US and Canada, and the thing that gives us my team the greatest joy is that we've created this platform that it gives people a chance to do what they love, what they're good at. And I could die today a very happy man that I've accomplished that. And you should too. You know, if you've helped 6 people so far, Will, man, I'm telling you, it's everything.
It's a ripple effect. Yeah,
It is a ripple effect. Yes.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely. Oh man, this has been one, like, time is flying by because this has
Oh
been
man. Okay.
this
We'll
is
have to. Okay, listen. You just mentioned who was your friend she's been on the podcast twice.
oh, Frederica.
Well, I need. So we're gonna need a second time here, Will. We got a lot to still talk about
Oh, I'd
down the
definitely
road. Down
love
the
to have.
road.
I'd definitely love to have you back, brother, man. Like,
Well,
you are
I'd
more
love
than
to.
welcome to come back on this show,
Well,
man.
here's the thing. I'm starting one too. I'm starting a podcast,
Okay.
and where I'm going to be interviewing people, and I'd love to reciprocate and have you on as a guest. So let's.
I would, I,
I'll keep
I
you
would
posted on
appreciate
that.
it. Definitely. I would have. Heck yeah, man.
Yes.
I'll be there. You let me know when, and I'll be there.
I would love it. Well, I've been doing a podcast. I've been with two other co-hosts for about a year, and we two of us are branching off. We're going to keep doing that because we just rap. The three of us just talk. But I've been wanting to, like you said, I've been wanting to do something where it gave me an opportunity to meet people and hear their stories and do what this has been. So I'll keep you posted about it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, just send me an email and we'll make it happen, brother. Definitely.
Right on, bro.
So what are you most excited about for the future?
Oh, so much. Well, that my new podcast is one of them. When I on my birthday, I launched my first a website my personal website, and I it was originally just supposed to be a platform for me to be able to do a blog. I was just going to start writing, and what's happened is it's become an all things sort of Mark Steiner, it's given me a play, I basically have a sandbox to play in now. And I do nothing but create content. Every day, me and somebody on my team, she's basically my manager. I hired her as an executive assistant. And now she's like, no, I'm more than an assistant. I'm like managing you. So I was like, okay, well, I got this partner now, Megan, and
Oh, yeah,
she
Megan's the one who Megan's the
yeah,
one who
right.
made this
Yes,
happen.
yes, exactly. So, everybody needs to have a Megan out there. We've been just churning content, and it gives me the opportunity to be creative in all so many ways. And I'm having the time of my life. So, think upon. Well, it's this. Think upon. Thinkupon.com. She just gave me this shirt today. So I'm excited about my podcast. I'm excited about my existing podcast. I'm excited for GigSalad. I decided that I'm going to be a professional actor again, Will. So I'm trying to break back into
Congratulations,
movies.
congratulations.
So yeah, it's one of the things I'm thrilled about because
So
I'm not slowing down.
I have I'm developing a web series that I'm working that I'm gonna
Okay.
shoot
Oh, cool.
and do myself with some people that I know, and I'm just excited. It's like I'm just branching. I'm just doing stuff that I wanted to do. Right? It's just something I want. If I want to create this web series,
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it happen. So
I
yeah.
hear you.
So being able to branch out and create these things and do this, it's like right now is the greatest time, right? For people like me to just
So just give it everything you
give it
want
a
to a
shot,
try.
to go out again, to go do and create something, and like there's so many opportunities for people to go out there and create something digitally, right? And so for
Nothing's
me,
holding me back.
I'm just excited, man. Like I've got a few scripts ready. I got like 7 episodes
Oh,
done.
great.
And so yeah, I'm just working on retouching and getting the equipment I need to start shooting. And yeah, so it's gonna be dope, man. I'm excited.
I wish you much success. Where are you based now,
Well, so
if you don't mind me
my
asking?
new job, I'm in Queens now, but I come back to PA on my days off because my wife's still in PA. So I go to New York for the week for work, and then I come back home to PA on my days off.
Love
So, but the dope stuff, dope, because I'm like I said, I'm from Brooklyn, so
Yeah.
being able to go back to New York right now gives me an opportunity to start working on a lot of the stuff that like to be able to like Yayoi's in New York. So now it gives me opportunity to connect with Yayoi in the city because we usually do it virtually, and we haven't been had the chance to meet person. Like we've only way we've communicated is through online and phone calls,
Right.
and so now being in New York, now that I'm getting situated a little, where me and her will be able to probably go somewhere and record
Oh, very good.
live, like
Very
together
good.
in the same area. So to be
Yeah.
able to do that, and then I've made so many connected with so many people where they've hey, come, you need to come to the studio in New York, and so to be able to those relationships, to really work on those relationships
Yeah.
and see where they go.
Yes.
It's like this couldn't come at a better time for me, right? With everything that I'm trying to do with building the publishing company and the production, like to be in New York City, to me
Oh,
it
it's
gives,
energizing.
yeah, it gives me a chance really
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So,
I miss it. I miss it a lot. I lived there 10 years, 84 to 94. And then I was in Connecticut from 94 to '04, and I've been in Missouri ever since. That's where I'm at now. But my daughter's in New Jersey, and my parents are from Pennsylvania. So those are my favorite part of the country is up there.
I'm in
I
the
miss
Poconos.
it.
I live in the Poconos. I have a house
Oh
in the
yeah,
Poconos. Yeah, so
yeah, on Route 80. I know
yeah,
that's where. Yeah.
I'm in the mountains. Yeah, so
Yes, near
I'm a city boy
Blairstown.
that went to the mountains, and now I'm back in the city. But
Yes,
it's just it's exciting time, man.
beautiful country, man. Well,
But we come to the part where if someone's listening feels different, overlooked, or unsure where they belong, what would you tell them today?
oh, I love the question. I tell you to begin to look within. Don't make excuses and try to look outside of yourself to find out where the problems are. You got to start from within and make peace with yourself. That's where peace, love, and gigs comes in. You know, make sure that you have internal peace. Make sure that you have internal love, and from that, the overflow of those, you can be a person of peace, a peacemaker, and you'll be able to love others, and you'll also protect yourself. You'll look out for yourself when you love yourself, and you'll not allow yourself to be in mediocre situations and mediocre relationships. So just start within, and if you need help, I think it's one of the greatest ways of being brave is to say help, being willing to say help. And that's not mine. That comes from one of my favorite new children's books. That's amazing. But yeah, just start there, and then realize that you have an opportunity to do anything you want in this world in your lifetime. It takes hard work, takes a lot of internal work. But yeah, find your gig. And know that you count. Know that you're valuable. Know that you can make a difference. That you do make a difference.
Definitely, definitely. But we've come to the show, part of the show where you get the spotlight and you get to plug away, let everybody know where they can find you,
Oh,
everything.
well, thank you very much. This has been a great experience. I really do appreciate it. I loved our conversation. I thank you if you would visit thinkupon.com. That's where you'll be connected to all things me, my blog, my podcast. There will be a link to this when it comes out. But if you need any event services, please consider visiting gigsalad.com. And I'd love to hear from you, you know?
Awesome, man. This has been a great experience. I really appreciate your
Yeah.
time. But don't leave just yet. Let me close out the show, and
Yeah.
we'll chat a little bit off the air. But brother, man, thank you so much for being a part of the show, man. I really appreciate the time. These are the conversations I really do enjoy.
Oh, me too, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Another great episode is in the books. I want to thank Mark Steiner for sharing his journey and reminding us that great leadership starts with empathy, connection, and service. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to Stuck in My Mind podcast, leave a review, and share this conversation with someone who can benefit from it. To learn more about Mark and GigSalad, visit gigsalad.com and connect with him on social media. You know how your boy Wize does it. Stay wise. Peace out.